What's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by. I hope everyone's having a great day. I am Josh from Vault Hunters Union, and we're doing another Kerbal Space Program video. I did a video recently, well, I guess a few months back, regarding how to get to the moon, and it was actually met with some pretty good ratings and pretty good success, so I've decided to continue that. We're going to try to expand our horizons today and get to Minmus. Now, Minmus is a little bit more difficult to get to, only because it kind of sits on a different plane, different angle. I'll get into more detail of that. First things first, though, we have to design the ship. We're going to do a very similar design to the one we've already done in the previous video. There is going to be a link to the video on how to get to the moon in the description, so make sure you look out for that if you haven't already seen that. So this one, Minmus has a little bit less gravity, so you don't want to have as powerful of a lander. You know, it's very easy to kind of get thrown off the trajectory there on Minmus there. I'm trying to sound smarter than I really am. Now, the only criticism I really got with that one, that moon video that I made, you know, I did it well, I believe. In my opinion, I think I did pretty good. The biggest criticism I got, though, was that I did it in the least efficient way possible. Which is, I understand for sure. I mean, I'm no genius at creating rockets. I'm not a rocket engineer like, you know, Scott Manley or any of those guys. However, here at Vault Hunters Union, we are not about efficiency. We're about getting the job done. So, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to that. So that's pretty much the lander phase right there. Very simple. A lot of people like to create super extravagant landers and stuff like that. That's not really something I think is necessary. Maybe for some of the further out planets, but you know, simple is better with the main thing. So now that we've got the lander stage done, we're going to create the basic stages. Now I like to use the Rockomax X200 fuel tanks, only because they don't burn up like the orange ones do. The Jumbo 64s, they burn up like crazy. What I just did there is something I just discovered. This is how little I know about this game and have yet to learn. Pressing shift and scrolling the wheel zooms in and out. Makes for a huge difference, because on some of these new versions of the game, it's kind of tedious to get some certain pieces underneath and to clip on like that. Alright, so that's our main stage. Now I'm going to use a little bit more of an efficient fuel engine for this one, the Skipper engine. Only 650 thrust, but it's extremely efficient compared to the big boys. So what we'll do now is we're going to go to structure, and we're going to go to decoupler, and we're going to add a couple decouplers here. We'll add I guess right there. Oh, maybe not. There. And then we'll put the other ones. Try to line them up real nice. That'll do, pig. Alright. So what we've got is we've got 5 32 fuel tanks in the middle. On the outsides, we're going to put 4. Bam. Bam. One thing I just realized we forgot is RCS. So we are going to need an RCS tank. I don't think it's overly necessary. But, you know, it's better safe than sorry. So we'll put that, and then we do need some RCS thrusters. Where the hell are they again? Control. Bam. Put 8 of them on here. Alright. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue construction here. Now the hardest part is lining this shit up. Good enough. So again, this is probably the least efficient way to get there, but as I previously said, we are not about efficiency here. It's all about getting the job done. So we've got that done. We've got the 4 rockets, so we're going to add this. Now on the outsides, we're going to put the maximum thrust, because the biggest obstacle with going through space is going to be getting out of the atmosphere of the planet Kerbin. And yeah, so we got to support our structure here. So I've come up with a way to kind of really do this rather well, considering. So we're going to attach here, and we're going to clip onto there. Wow, that did not look as good as it did my... I did a test of this. I didn't actually try to get to Minmus. I just did like a test of the ship. And yeah, it doesn't look nearly as good in this one as it did on the test one. But that's okay. So we're going to go here to here, here to here, and here to here, and here to here. Alright, so the structure is in place. Now we got to do some fuel lines. Again, we're going to do the asparagus staging. Pretty standard. Everyone pretty much does this now. So we're going to go here to here. Shit. Here to here. And then we're going to go from here to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have... Whoa, shit. We're going to have the outside tanks, these two, feeding into these tanks, which are feeding into this tanks. So these tanks will run out very fast. We'll detach them. These tanks will all be full. These outside tanks, then these outside two will be feeding the middle tank. Once the outside tanks run out, we'll detach them, and we'll be left with the middle tank completely full of fuel. So that should honestly be plenty to get us to where we need to go. We did a similar design, I think one step smaller, to get to the moon, and we got there. We were in orbit with the main engine still, and that's honestly, that is the goal. I think I want to be able to basically deorbit the ship while still having the main engine attached. Again, not the most efficient way, but that's fine. So we got to do our staging here. Now a lot of people will do like the boosters on the sides. Where are they? I know you guys can't see my mouse right now, but like these, the solid fuel boosters. Alright, so that's pretty much good. So we want to do the staging now. So we want all 5 engines to fire. And then once they're empty, we're going to add a stage here. So we want these tanks to detach first. There, that one. Alright. Alright. So all 5 engines fire. Then these tanks detach, leaving these two, and then these two. And then this will detach everything. And then that. And then we're home. Alright, I think we're good, guys. So we're going to go ahead and save this. And we are going to launch this. So hopefully the next time, well, I'm going to be talking to you guys throughout the mission here. This is live commentary. The other commentary won't be live, just in case I fuck shit up, which is certainly a possibility. And yeah, so I'll be talking to you on the mission, and then hopefully we will soon be speaking on the surface of Minmus. Hey guys, I was earlier mentioning how it was easier to get to the moon than it is to Minmus because Minmus is on a different plane. I'm going to explain what that means. So the moon is kind of like they put it there as a beginner. It's very flat, you can see, very easy to get to. Now you see that purple line, that is Minmus. So if we zoom out and get the Earth and the moon flat, you can see Minmus is on a different level. It doesn't orbit flat around Kerbin like the moon does. So that's kind of what I meant. But I'm going to shut up now. We're going to take off, and we're going to be well on our way, hopefully. Alright guys, it is launch time and we are finally on our way. So as I said, this is not recorded live, just in case I screwed things up. But as you can see, some parts of this video are going to be sped up, just because they're things that really aren't overly important. It is going to be at, I've recorded this at a high frame rate, so even if it's played slow, you know, everything's going to be, or even if it's played fast, sorry, everything's going to be pretty slowed down. So you can see we get to about 6,000 meters and our first tanks run out, so we are left with 3 tanks that are full. And so we are steadily climbing. Once we get to about 9,300, I start to edge over to 90 degrees. Now, I definitely head over way too early. You want to wait till 10,000 meters. The other mistake I made is I did not throttle down. So now, again, it's being played fast. So I'm just keep looking at the map to make sure that I'm, you know, on a good angle. Trying to get that to about 100,000 meters there. You can see there's another line going around the planet. That's just another rocket I put into orbit. And I just kind of left it there. So I'm kind of using that as my line. And you can see here we run out of fuel again. So we dislodge at about 40,000 meters. So not overly efficient, but we have a full tank of gas in this big ass tank, which is a lot, and we're using a pretty efficient engine, so we can pretty much get anywhere we need to go here. So we're about 100,000 meters now. We'll hit X, turn off the engines, and now it's just a matter of waiting till we get up to that climb. So I'm going to add my maneuver now. We encounter a glitch here, which is kind of weird. You'll see here that it takes me a minute to get my coordinates set up here. So 149, I try to make it a little bit shorter, but it doesn't really matter. That's pretty good there, so we just pretty much leave that. Now we're going to speed up to the burn here. I do this burn pretty good, but for some reason everything really just buggers up here, and I think it's because I just started the burn a little early. You want to start it pretty soon, a couple seconds, and I feel like I did that. I really don't understand what's going on, but you can see here again we're speeding up time a little bit here. Sony Vegas really doesn't have that great of a speed up time feature. Well, it is also again recorded in a high frame rate. So we're just building up velocity now to get around to get into that orbit. You're gonna see what I mean with regards to this, because I follow the blue as you're supposed to. The blue marker on the gyro ball there. That's your kind of your target for your controlled burn, and you can see that everything kind of gets all lopsided there. It only gets me to about 50,000 meters. I do a big burn. I expand it a bit because it's just way too small. Like, I think we're only at about 50,000 meters on one side. It would definitely pull me back in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to aim. We selected Minmus as a target. You want to aim kind of on and go across the dotted line, because that's kind of where they all meet. And you're going to see that they kind of intersect there, and then boom, lunar capture. So this is just like when we were capturing the moon, except it's a little bit longer. The dotted line there seem to be where they all kind of intersect in that solar system there. So you want to, or in that, not solar system, in the system. So you kind of want to stick along those dotted lines to make it much easier on yourself. So we're just waiting for the burn time to come now, so that we can go ahead and rock down to Electric Avenue. Alright, and we are about to take off now, and here we go. So again, we're going to do speed this up a little bit. No point in you guys watching me do this burn, it's not that big of a deal. But you're going to see again, I follow the burn completely, but for some reason I fall way short of the target. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess there's still a little bit of a... Alright, so we're kind of inching our way out now, basically just kind of doing a little bit of extra throttle. You can see I'm way short, so I have to do some compensation here. Just kind of aiming at the pink dot. And it's still not perfect, so we delete our old maneuver there. We don't need that now. You can see where they're going to be meeting at the same time. So we're not in a capture yet, so we got to do a little bit of throttling. So all you do in this situation is kind of position your ship. Again, aim it at the pink dot, because that's aiming at your target, which is Minmus. And then just do a little bit of throttling, and you can see there just a quick second throttle there, and we are in a capture. So we're going to go ahead and speed this up, get around here. We take a couple glances looking for Minmus, because it's starting to get close. I don't realize where it is. Then I start to get a little bit closer, and I kind of get my bearings, and I realize that I know where it is. It's right there. So we're coming up on the planet. Now this planet is basically white. There are some ice fields in it. Ideally, if you're going to land on the planet, that's where you want to land. And we have been captured, so we want to basically click right there and shorten the orbit. We're going to do what's called a retro burn, burning against the way we're going to slow down our speed, and that's going to allow us to get captured by the orbit, by the pull of that planet, or of Minmus. So it's going to basically pull us in, and we're going to be able to go into a circular orbit around it. You can see the yellow line, orange line is kind of our trajectory based on the burn. So I want to get this as close as I can. There's no atmosphere to pull you in on this one, so you don't have to worry about being too close. So right now we're pretty much just getting in position to do the burn, and then we're just going to be passing time. You're going to see it's a very rough planet. The ice fields, I think they're ice anyway, they are completely flat. So if you're going to be landing on this, and I'm going to show you how to do this. If you're going to try to land on the planet, you can kind of see those little flat areas now inside the little mountain ranges there. That's where I would recommend, especially for the first time. Like, I'm not overly great at landing on this planet either. I've only done it a few times. I keep calling it a planet. It's a moon. You can see we did our retro burn there, and basically now the blue line is our trajectory, so we're always going to be in orbit of this moon. We're going to get pretty far, but I do a controlled burn at the lowest point, the closest point, to shorten our speed, lower our speed, I guess, shorten our orbit around on the other side. Now I kind of bugger this up as well. Again, not the most perfect. I don't know if this is a stability issue with this version or what. So we're speeding up now, basically, allowing time to pass. You're getting very close to the planet now, so it's going to come in at a much better detail. And we're on the dark side of the moon. I've always wanted to try to get into making like a moon base and stuff. I don't know if I'm coordinated to do that. So what I do here is I kind of bugger that up, and I get kind of arrogant, and instead of waiting till the lowest point there, the periaps I think it is, that's the one, I control burn early, and that fucks up my orbit. As you can see there, you kind of missed it there. I kind of talked over it. There's kind of a glitch there too with detaching the engine, the main engine with all the tanks. For some reason I hit space and it didn't disappear. Now what we're doing is, I had to manually dislodge that. So now what we're doing is I'm creating an orbit to basically line myself up with that big ice field there. Same thing, we're going to kind of wait. You can see the dotted line. I'm just kind of correct my trajectory so I can get right over the middle of that ice field using the triangle. The triangle one, when you select a maneuver, that's the one you're going to use to do that. And so I had to right click to activate the engine because now all of the order of the parts there are all screwed up. So I do a control burn. I do it kind of early. No need to really rush at this point. So you can see we're just kind of keeping the same orbit. We're just kind of changing the direction we're going so that I can be right over the middle of that large ice field that I'm trying to land on. I do a quick little set up a controlled burn to go straight down, although I don't really need to. Really, you just got to get close to where you need to go, and then we're going to do a retro burn. I do a retro burn here. You can see I kind of buggered up because I end up going too fast. You want to kind of be throttling down slow, throttling up slow, but I max out, and I end up screwing shit up here. You're going to see I go far forward. You can see I'm going too fast. I don't realize it, not paying attention, and now I'm being slung that way to the left. So I do a bit of a burn, just a slow one in the direction I was coming from, another small retro burn, just to kind of make sure I land on the flat part. So now we're coming down. You're going to press G here to lower your landing gear so that you obviously have something to land on. Really just keeping the throttle on very, very soft, slowly slowing down. You want to be probably around 5 or less meters per second when you come down. Right before you hit the ground, you're going to hit X, shut off the engine, so you just come down. Now, Minmus, you have to make sure, this is the reason I advise landing on the flat parts, is that this moon has extremely low gravity. So you're going to see as soon as I touch down, the ship automatically wants to just tilt and bounce everywhere because it is extremely low gravity. I'm going to get out of the ship and show you just how low this gravity is. And we're coming down, Again, only 2 meters per second, that's awesome. Nice and straight, almost. Touchdown. See, I wasn't perfectly straight, and I honestly thought this was going to tip over because the gravity is so low, and that's why I wanted to use the weaker engine because it's a lot less sensitive. So we're touchdown. We are on the surface of Minmus. This is probably only the second or third time I've been there. We're going to extend both the ladders, and we're going to send Mr. Bill Kerbin down to take a look. Oh, shit. All right, let's let go, man. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick jump here so you guys can see exactly how high the gravity is. Look at this. Like, I do a couple more jumps here, and I sped up the video a lot because you don't need to be seeing this, obviously. And, yeah, I mean, those jumps take forever, like even in slow motion. Just kind of clicking around, seeing shit. You can see I do another jump there. Much faster. I wish the jumps actually were that fast. Then I realized that, you know, I'm lucky I could jump up and then grab the ladder because I buggered up. So now we're going to take off. Just like the moon, we're going to launch to 90 degrees. So I have lots of fuel, plenty of fuel to get me home. And we're pretty much just doing it like we're orbiting the Earth. We're going to get out to a certain height. It doesn't really matter because there's no atmosphere. So we just want to get into any sort of circular orbit at this point. You can see I have lots of fuel again. The staging seems to have corrected itself. I don't know exactly what happened, but there's a couple empty stages I couldn't delete, which is extremely weird. Anyway, so we're lined up, we got an orbit, we're just dragging this orbit out now, creating a maneuver at the bottom of the planet. I zoom out to get my bearings to see where the Earth is from relative to my position. Start at the lowest point of the orbit relative to the planet, Earth, Kerbin, and we're going to do a controlled burn. This is just an escape. It doesn't really matter where you go. You just want to escape the orbit of Minmus and kind of be in your own. And once you escape the orbit of Minmus, you're going to be in the orbit of Kerbin, way the fuck out there. And it's pretty simple at that point. So you can see there, extremely quick burn. We're already in an escape trajectory because there's not much force pulling in. So we've escaped the influence of Kerbin, or of Minmus, and now we're just doing, where the blue is the orbit we're in. So we're in an orbit around Kerbin. We're just basically doing a retro burn to shorten our orbit so that we will eventually intersect Kerbin. So we're going to do a retro burn. I was going to wait till I got to that point, but I realized you really don't need to, so I just go ahead and do my own short burn there. Kind of a glitch there again as well, but it's okay though, it's still in beta. So we're pretty much lining up with the Kerbin, and we're good to go. So let's speed this shit up, and then home sweet home. And again, just to be safe, I right click the decoupler and detach it, just so I don't have to hit space and bugger shit up. You can see again, 1 and 2 are empty, so there's no way for me to just hit space, and I can't delete those 1 and 2 on the left side there. So I have to right click on the parachute. So we're in the atmosphere, we do some toppling around, some spinning, and I right click and I get to about 2,000 meters maybe or so, and then I deploy the parachute. And we'll speed up time, parachute opens, let's speed up some time again, and touchdown now. Alright guys, that is it. We have made it there and back. I know I made it kind of fast, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Anything else, please ask. Have a great day guys. Thanks so much for watching.